what is XSEDE and how is it impacting the future of HPC? We'll find out next. With me now is John Towns from NCSA. How are you, John?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Good to have you here. So, first of all, what is NCSA again?
NCSA is a National Center for Supercomputing Applications at the University of Illinois.
Excellent. All these acronyms.
Yes, many
I
in our
love it.
community.
So, we are here to talk about XSEDE
Yes.
a little bit, and then we'll segue into a little bit, well, another issue we've got. But tell me, what is XSEDE? What's your involvement?
So I'm the PI and Project Director for XSEDE, which is a National Science Foundation funded national cyber infrastructure project.
Okay.
So it's a now 11-year project which integrates many of the resources, services, and capabilities funded by the National Science Foundation to make them available to researchers at universities across the country and their collaborators internationally.
Okay. And how long have you been working in that capacity?
So I've been running this project. We're in our 11th year. I've been involved in a prior project called the TerraGrid for most of its life of 12 years, and I've been at the center, NCSA, since 1989. So I've been playing this game for quite some time.
Wow, excellent. So let's talk about the Advanced Computing for Social Change, ACSC, right? How did it come about?
So this has been an outgrowth of our activities in the Broadening Participation Program of the XSEDE project. Often efforts in this area are difficult to find funding for. It has been a part of our mission of XSEDE to broaden participation within the community and reach out to underrepresented communities. And as part of a collaboration that was developed with several other institutions, we began this Advanced Computing for Social Change to focus on trying to bring primarily data skills to underrepresented minority communities. And so it is a program that we hold not only during SC annually, but we also do it during the PERC conference, Practice and Experience in Advanced Research Computing, that's held in July of every year, focused primarily on advanced computing professionals, but also developing the community in many ways. So what happens is we get the cohort of students together, they get into smaller teams, they choose a problem of their own selection that's a socially relevant problem, and then we provide guidance for them to collect data, to provide analysis, and develop a presentation based on their analysis. So they spend several days during the week of the conference, SC and PERC, developing a presentation. We have a set of folks that review their presentations and they provide them to them at the end of the program. It provides them both the development of these technical skills. It helps them with some of their presentation capabilities. It also introduces them to the rest of the community as well. So it creates opportunities where they often didn't have them.
Yeah, it sounds like it attacks a lot of different areas that they need to experience with. How is it funded?
So primarily, it's funded right now out of funds from the National Science Foundation, although it was initiated as something as part of the XSEDE project. We wanted to do more than we could with the funds that we had in the project budget. So in collaboration with some of our partners, we put in a proposal to the National Science Foundation, and they provided funding. Further, particularly the two conferences I referred to, and this one included, have also provided support to this program as a very important element of also broadening participation in our community.
Right. So XSEDE's role in this is?
Well, initiating it, we also provide a lot of coordination support for this.
Okay.
So while we do have funding from the NSF for that project specifically, we also use project funds from XSEDE to support the activity.
Okay. And so how does it support XSEDE's mission?
So XSEDE is a large and complex project with many objectives, but one of our first strategic goals is actually to educate and to do workforce development for both existing and new communities. We also have a specific element around broadening participation and diversity and inclusion. So this all fits within those efforts.
Seems like it kind of goes hand in hand very nicely. Good.
It was designed to complement the things that we were doing in XSEDE.
Yeah, makes sense. So how has the program grown? I'm assuming it's grown.
It has grown. Again, it started as a relatively small effort, but with the additional funding that we were able to get from the National Science Foundation and the support from the conference, we've been able to support more students each year as part of the program, which has been fantastic.
Yeah. How do students get involved with it?
We put a call out, which is one of the challenging elements of this because you're trying to reach out to underrepresented groups within the community already. So we often use XSEDE and other projects, broadening participation programs, to reach into those communities and identify candidates. And so that they submit an application, we review those and select a number of students, the number that we can support with the funds we have that year.
Great. And I imagine you have some pretty good participation as far as numbers go?
It's been very good, and the students have been fantastic. They have been, I've been a part of this and watched the presentations, observed as some of the work has been going on, and it's been life-changing for a number of these individuals. So it's been just such a wonderful experience to be a part of this.
Yeah.
It's primarily led by a woman by the name of Kelly Gaither at University of Texas Austin. She's also a co-PI on our XSEDE project. And this is largely her brainchild, but in collaboration with others. And she puts an enormous amount of energy into this and to working with the students, and it's just a fabulous experience.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to ask you what the impact of this program has been, but it sounds like...
We've got numbers of stories of students that have participated in this. They've come from challenging backgrounds, and now they're in graduate studies at various institutions around the country and internationally. So it's just been, again, created opportunities for these individuals that they might not have otherwise had.
Yeah, it's a great program. Anything else that we didn't cover as far as the ACSC and... trying to remember all of these acronyms. XSEDE, all of it. Anything that you didn't get to? Well,
I think the one thing that's important, particularly for programs like this, is there's some uncertainty as to their future often. So in the case for this and a few of the other XSEDE-related projects or activities, is unfortunately, XSEDE will come to an end next year. NSF will fund a follow-on program that they call ACSC, but the overall budget for that program is only about half of the current program. So we're very concerned as to what elements will be able to move forward. I know that they're attempting to move some of these efforts, funding some of these efforts into other programmatic areas within the foundation. We just haven't seen how that's going to unfold as yet. So, we rely on the support of projects like XSEDE, conferences like SC, and others to continue and hopefully sustain this sort of activity for the community.
So then what's the hope moving forward then as far as keeping these programs going?
Again, well, hopefully what we'll see is solicitations coming from the NSF and perhaps other agencies that will allow us to fund the students and the staff time to support these efforts.
So I guess it's just letting people know the importance. And
it's doing things like this, letting the community know that what we're doing. Often these aren't terribly visible, but they're extremely important, particularly for broadening the participation and increasing diversity in our community.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've talked a lot about diversity and inclusion this week with a lot of other guests, and this is just another piece of that.
It is.
For sure.
So we're making our contribution. We all need to put something into this to make sure that we can move forward.
Well, I hope that it continues in some capacity moving on.
We certainly hope so.
Yeah,
and I'm fairly confident we'll work that out over the next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's uncertainty over the next year, and we have to work through that.
All right. So you are a longtime SC attendee, correct?
I am. First SC was in 1989, which was the second SC. I missed one other because of the birth of one of my sons, and I didn't think it was a good idea to leave mom with a 1-week-old child. So I've been to all but 2 of the SCs.
Computing's changed a lot since then, right?
It has changed dramatically, yes.
You've been here through it all. I know that with this year is kind of an unusual conference, obviously, with the hybrid that we've got. Have you seen any, well, there are obvious challenges, but what's your experience been with that hybrid here?
Well, it has been challenging, but what I've been telling folks is this is part of the process of returning to some new normal.
Yeah.
We don't know what that's going to look like. We can't predict what that's going to look like. So we have to do things, and that means we need to do what we're doing here. Know the attendance isn't what we might want it to be, but we have to go through this process.
Yeah.
And from my own experience, I think that what has been good about it is there has at least been a critical mass of attendees to make it worthwhile. And so I'm very glad for the folks that have been able to make it, and I hope that we'll see more next year. And I think that we will.
Yeah.
And again, it'll be part of the process of finding what that new normal is. And we have to find our way. There is no roadmap for this.
Right. Excellent. Very well put. I like that. You're looking forward to next year in Dallas?
I am. I like to go to Dallas. It's a wonderful city to go to. Lots of friends down that way.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to see a lot of them as well. I mean, that's what this event has also been very good for. Many people, we've not seen each other in 2 or more years.
Yeah.
And so it's been very nice to be able to, as I say, see their three-dimensional forms again.
Yeah, for sure. What's a fun fact about you on a personal level?
Fun fact, well, as I mentioned before we began talking, St. Louis is my hometown. So born and raised here. So for me, it's a homecoming of sorts, and it's been nice for me not only to be able to participate in the conference, but to come a couple of days early and visit with friends and family that I also haven't seen in a couple of years due to the pandemic.
Yeah, it's quite nice to be able to be in person with people. Give them a hug.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And I know the conference is almost over, so
It's coming
we'll look
close.
forward to next year.
Yes.
All right. For those of you that are watching, stay tuned for one more interview, the latest in high-performance computing on SC21 TV. Make sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please plan to attend SC22 in person in Dallas next November if you can. I'm Charla Bokikio.